Warning: the content on this channel is dealing with metaphysics and that which goes beyond our scope of understanding. Come here with logic, sound reasoning, and common rationale in order to be able to retain the information that comes off these videos. A lot of the information is dealing with that which goes on in and outside of our matrix reality system. Thank you for your time. Let's begin. everyone, how's it going? It's your boy, Serious and Temple Spiritual Network, and we're back at it with another video. How you guys doing tonight? Or this morning, rather. Yeah. Well, anyways, let's get started. Alright, now, I would like you to take a look at the image in front of you. We're going to be talking about planet Erra today. This sphere planetoid is called planet Erra. Yes. It sits in the blue clusters of stars called Pleiades, or the seven sisters of Pleiadians. Yes. And it is located in the constellation of Taurus. And of course, yes, this is a lifelike representation of planet Erra. In fact, a lot of your boys at NASA actually call it planet Erra planet Earth too. Because, you know, Earth is actually Tamriel or Nern. The planet that we're living on right now is Tiamat or Kai. So, as you know, the orcs obviously had a hand in that agenda to, you know, try to make us call this planet Earth and all that. And yes, these beings right here, as you can see, are called Pleiadians. They live on planet Erra in the Taurus constellation, right? By the seven star clusters that we call the 7 stars of Pleiades in the Taurus constellation near the star Tegeta. These beings have been caught all over the universe doing certain things to benefit themselves. And of course, we're going to talk and dive in deep and talk about, you know, the history of these beings and what's really going on with them and how did they get to our planet and whatnot. See, Pleiadian people, they do resemble what you refer to as your so-called Caucasians or Caucasians, your Caucasian people, or your orcs, or your mankind, or your human race. They resemble them, but at the same time, when you see a Pleiadian person, a lot of times they look very much like a Barbie doll. You ever seen those Barbie dolls? Their physiology, physically, they resemble a lot of what that looks like. If you thought Caucasian people looked like your regular Ken and Barbie dolls and all that, well, these guys look even more like that. It's actually very noticeable when you look at them. You can tell that there's something about them that, you know, is it's foreign. And they do not have any orc ties dealing with their physiology. Orcs or your humans have animal genetic to them, but these beings were made differently. And yes, they are sulfuric in nature, you know. And see, from my understanding, these beings are not even the original Pleiadians. The original Pleiadians are supposed to be dark-skinned people. And I believe that there was a grafting process or some type of grafting program that happened on planet Erra, or possibly somewhere else, where the original Pleiadian people, which is supposed to be, I believe, your Alpha Pleiadians, they were grafted. They were grafted, and out of that grafting process, it gave birth or rise to the Zeta Pleiadians. Understand that your Pleiadians, your Zeta Pleiadians, these particular ones here, they're far more well known than your original Pleiadian people, and they have their own agendas. They live amongst each other, and then you do have on planet Erra, you do have certain other species that live there along with them, but of course they have to live amongst the rules and laws and regulations that the Pleiadian people have established on planet Erra. These beings are very power hungry. They are also known as the transparent ones. Pleiadians have always come around and talked about that they come in peace. But because physically they don't resemble a threat, they don't look like what an enemy being would look like, they try to trick the Anunnaki people, or your carbon-based folk, on Tiamat. See, these beings have a malicious, vile, jealous, and very envious nature to them. They believe that they are supposed to be the superior ones. They have a lot of alliances and allegiances with certain Arcturian beings. They have allegiances with certain gray aliens, certain Zeta Greys, and your Zeta reptilians, your Kappa and your Psi reptilians, and they have made agreements amongst each other to try to take over Tiamat and have the orcs try to take over. In fact, the Pleiadians actually helped. They were one of the leading individuals who actually invaded Tiamat before the orcs did. I'm going to explain this. And in fact, if you want to know, the Pleiadians are stronger spiritually in comparison to the orcs. The Pleiadians are actually stronger spiritually. Why? It's because, see, your orcs are human. They have a lot of human limitations placed on them. Yes, they may have a few talents, psychically, but it's not enough in order to take out like Pleiadians. Pleiadians, they have a stronger tie to spirituality than the orcs do. And yes, of course, your Arcturians, as you can see, they helped out the orcs as well. And what people fail to understand is that, see, when the Pleiadians, this is an example of a Pleiadian woman. Yes, she may look very harmless. Some may see her as, as an attractive young woman. The last thing that they would think, right, is that this fair-skinned, harmless-looking woman is going to harm or attack or try to kill us for simply just existing. See, the Anunnaki people, your carbon-based folk, our people, when we ran into these beings, where did these beings come from? They came from a Stargate portal in Russia. That's where they came from on this planet. And they knew exactly what they were doing. They infiltrated us. They tried to learn our ways, and they tried to learn our ways to see if there was any chink in our armor. They knew that they could not fight us head on because we would destroy them. They know that we are superior. But as cunning, and as they're very cunning, they're very tactful, they're strategistic, and they're smart. They're not idiots. They knew what they were up against when they came here, but they wanted to know exactly who we were, because they didn't want to make any mistakes in calculation, do something wrong, and then we figure out what they're about, and then we annihilate them off the face of the earth. They're very tactful, and they try to come off as very attractive, beautiful, a brand new species who was gonna come here and look for a home, and that they were all about peace and tranquility and harmony with nature. And of course, we as loving folk, we saw a new species, we'd never seen them before. We welcomed them with open arms, and little did we know that eventually chaos started on Tiamat, and we had a galactic war that happened on the planet, and you had other Zeta beings and orcs and all these other Arcturians and even some reptile types and others that came here and started attacking. Your Pleiadian women, they're very sexual creatures. They're very intuitive. They're smart. and they're psychic, and some of them can manipulate your thoughts and how you think. You know, they're always trying to strategize to try to have the upper hand, and that is how we actually lost in dealing with them, because it was our first time dealing with an enemy who was very cunning, who was very I would like to say the word witty, you know, in a way where dealing with, they came off as harmless, they came off as friends, and we didn't know any better because it was our first time running into them. And we had other tribe, you know, your other clans and tribes talking about, oh, don't trust them, and you know, we had others that were saying, oh, you know, they seem harmless, oh yeah, go talk to them or whatever. Eventually, the Pleiadian people found out about the towers that we had here, and they found out that that was our Achilles heel, if you will. Achilles heel means your cheek in your armor, or like they say, your weakness, your kryptonite, like they say. And they started attacking the towers, and they started bringing their other Zeta brothers into the Alpha universe. And they started attacking here as soon as the orcs got free from planet Egypt. When they got free from planet Egypt, the Pharaoh was on planet Egypt. He was very much confused, and of course he saw the gray spaceships hovering around, and they were communicating with the other Zetas that were coming in, and of course your reptilian people, your draconian reptilians, they were in on this as well. They all called each other up. They eventually came over, and they started watching and monitoring the Anunnaki people while we were dealing with the Pleiadian people down here. They were monitoring us. They were seeing all the things that we can do. They had certain illustrators and authors and stuff like that that actually they drew what they saw us doing. You had very talented orcs that knew how to draw very well, and they drew what they were seeing. They saw the things that we could do. And this is where your superheroes and your Marvel and DC comics come from. They saw what we could do, and then they put it on paper, they put it into a comic, they put it into a cartoon, and then they plastered their orc face on it so you can't tell what the hell is really going on. The Draconian Reptilians. See, these orcs on this planet believe that the Pleiadian people are in their best interest. They are wrong. See, when the Pleiadians came here, yes, they allowed the orcs to take over to some extent, but what we fail to understand is that we still do have some Pleiadian people here, and people are not even aware of it. Yes, they try to mix in with the orc genetic and stuff like that, and a lot of them are in Russia. This is why you have a so-called white man on YouTube talking about that they call themselves the tall whites and they don't come from here. Yes, even Adolf Hitler knew about this. Okay? You know, not all of your Pleiadian people are straight up pale with white hair and stuff like that and blue eyes. Some of them actually have red eyes, like, you know, like an albino type of light. They have you know, some of them have dark hair, you know, blonde, white hair, you know, brown hair, you know. They have a butterscotch type skin tone to fair, to like pink, to even pale. You know, they physically they're very fit. They're psychically. I would say they are stronger than the orcs psychically. They're far more advanced than the orcs as well. On their planet, they have a lot of water filtration systems. The sun on their planet is actually, I would argue, it's a little bit stronger than what's on Tamriel. The plant life is much more nourishing. On their planet, there's not as much dangerous wildlife like there is on Tamriel or Nirn. In fact, their planet is very hospitable. They actually have a very beautiful planet. They have a lot of resources on their planet, but it's not enough for them. You know, in fact, Erra is the home planet to about 400,000 Pleiadians. It resembles what you would call a utopia, with flowing water, lush, fertile meadows, and a very vibrant scenery. It orbits a central star called Tegeta, like I told you guys before. It is one of the 10 planets in its orbit, and is one of 4 with life. Erra has been dubbed Twin Earth, and is 440 light years away, as many scientists have stated. And the thing is with them, they've made many deals with different types of orcs and zetas and reptiles, and the thing is, on the planet right now, see, the Pleiadian people have been doing a lot of experimentation with orc genetic as well. See, you even had a situation where there was a farmer, I believe. I heard the story a long time ago, years ago. There was this one man that he kept seeing all kind of light shows going on in the sky in the evening and at night around his area. There was nobody he could really talk to about it, because when it would happen, he'd see it all by himself. And then one day, in his home, he walked into like the living room, and it was kind of dark in the house, and he saw these really strong men, in his living room, and there was a woman there, and at first he believed they were of Caucasian descent, but when he looked at them, he could tell there was something a little bit different about them, something a little bit foreign, and he could tell by the facial structure. These were not normal looking white folk. You could tell. And the way they were dressed, it's like they came from another place, and they were all quiet, and they were sending him psychic messages, and he could feel it. And the woman, the Pleiadian woman, she was several times stronger than him. A grown man. And she's a woman. And she was several times stronger than this man. She forced herself sexually on this man. And he could not stop her. And she forced his face into her chest, and he bit into her chest. And guess what happened? He tasted sulfur when he bit into her chest, and I'm guessing possibly maybe a little bit of blood spilled, or you're biting on someone's flesh. You're gonna bleed. He tasted sulfur, and he said that her for whatever reason, they were all just watching, and she was forcing herself on him, and at one point they just eventually just disappeared. And he said that he did not have the strength to stop her. Yes, and in case you're wondering, yes, they are sulfuric. They are not of carbon, so of course, if too much sunlight hits them, or if, any form of carbon is put into their genetic, they would die. They do have similar problems that orcs do have, but that hair on their head is not of an animal genetic. No, because the guy even said he had some of her hair strands when she was forcing herself on him, and the hair strands were completely different from anything that they've ever seen on this planet. That was not animal fur at all. The Pleiadians do not have good intentions with carbon-based people you like to call black today. Your Hispanics, your Brazilians, your Africans, your Afro-Hispanics, and all you other carbon-based folk on the planet. They do not have good intentions with you. In fact, the reptilians actually came to the Pleiadian people, and they spoke to them about how they wanted to take over the planet, and that to forget the humans, don't save the humans, forget about them, let's worry about ourselves. In fact, have you ever tried human flesh? And the Pleiadians were like, no, why do you ask? And the draconian reptilians actually told them that human flesh is an absolute delicacy and that they should try some. And after, you know, talking to the Pleiadian people for God knows how long, eventually they agreed and said, you know what, yeah, you're right, fuck the humans. Yeah, so for you orcs that want to think that the Pleiadians are on your side and that they want to come save you or they want to come help you out with any kind of galactic war that's going to happen soon in this year 2020 or anything along those lines, the Pleiadians don't give two shits about you orcs. They used you. They used you guys as like guinea pigs, pretty much. They used you as they wanted to see what was going to happen on the planet. So instead of them taking over, they allowed you guys to take over. And they allowed a partial piece of their genetic to stay around to report back to them. In Russia, to this very day, you still have tall whites that have Pleiadian genetic attached to their genetic. So yes, we do have Pleiadians on this planet. Yes, we do. There is a reason why in that place in Russia over there, people say that the white folk from over there are very much different from the white folk over here. That's for a reason. They have partial Pleiadian genetic ties. They do. And they're very, very vulgar and very bigoted people, I might add. Okay? And it's not even that they're bigoted. They hate other species that they look at as inferior. And the reason why is because it's an inferiority complex that they suffer from. Okay? A lot of Zetas behave this way. Okay? They know that they're supposed to be listening to the higher beings. They just don't want to, and they want to stand up and create a republic and create all kinds of problems on the planet. They destroyed our towers. We became powerless. We had data chips connected to our minds and the towers. When the towers got blown up, our minds went haywire. We had a pole shift on the planet because of what was going on when they stole our spacecrafts from Egypt. And they shot what you refer to as your North Pole, which is really Antarctica, in case you didn't know. The map is in reverse, people. Okay? The North Pole is actually Antarctica. The South Pole, well, as you guys well know, that's not Antarctica, the South Pole. They like to tell you. Okay. And the world has never been the same since. The Pleiadians are the ones who infiltrated us. It wasn't even the orcs, it was them. And when all that fighting went on, you have Pleiadians getting killed here. Yeah, we messed them up too. But because they came here with a small group of themselves here, the ones that were outside looking in the outside in, they got away. The mass majority of the orcs came onto this planet and a few other planets near our solar system. And the mass majority of the orcs came in here, but they couldn't come here without spacesuits. They needed certain type of suits to come in here, and the radiation that was coming off of our towers was destroying their bodies. Some of them were getting disintegrated just walking up in here. So they had to destroy those towers. I'm telling you, once they found out about those towers, man, listen, all we heard was screams and people getting attacked, and we just saw them trying to shoot down every goddamn thing. And that's when the war started. They started killing our people, we started killing their people. It was, you know, it's just madness. You know, yes, you have evil beings out there in the universe that may or may not look threatening. You know, planet Erra has a lot of technology. There's a lot of technology on that planet, and they also have stolen technology from other places as well. The Pleiadians are galactic pirates. That's what they are. They are thieves. They love to run around other planets. They like to conquer other planets. They like to steal what does not belong to them. And they like to come off as if they're harmless. Your Pleiadian people, they know about the recent attack that happened on planet Nern. They know about it. That our people went over there and bombed them and blew up all their shit out of anger. They know about it. Did they get involved? No, they didn't. They're only there for self-worth. They're only there for their self-gain. They'll team up with the orcs and the reptilians and all that other stuff, but only when it benefits them at the end of the day. Yes, your Pleiadian people are carnivores. Yes, they are. Yes, in fact, in case you don't know, they've already made the decision to want. They've already made the decision to want to come down here and do like the Draconians do. They want to eat. They want to eat. They want to eat human flesh. Yes, Pleiadians. For you orcs, you white folks, and all you other ones that think that the Pleiadians are your friends, they not. They will kill your ass up and barbecue you and eat you. That's what they would do. I'm telling you that straight up. They do not see themselves the way that that you see them. The way that you see them, like a friend, they see you more like a temporary friend that might be turned into an opposition at some point. Yes, they will go on some Hannibal Lecter type shit on your ass. Yes, they would. Okay. In fact, one of the plans that these Archons had, because Pleiadians are considered Archons, whether you want to accept that or not, they like to deal with that negative frequency. Pleiadians are very much dangerous. And the thing is, Pleiadian, you know, they're women, you know, they know that they have a certain physicality to them that looks, which we refer to as harmless, a harmless attractive woman. She will try to infiltrate a group of men just to get information off of them, just to fuck them over later. They've done this on many different planets. You know, they get valuable information by using their women to infiltrate on different planets. The men from other planets, they, you know, how men, you know, a lot of men tend to get, you know, see a beautiful woman, they start talking too much, they give up the information that they wasn't supposed to, then they get bombed and attacked that same day. Like I said, Pleiadians, they're very cunning. They're gonna try to confuse you and make you think of all kind of bullshit that ain't true. They have all kinds of ancient artifacts on their planet that they have stolen from many different places. They will even kidnap somebody and hold them for ransom just so they could get paid whatever the hell it is that they want. Okay? They're only out for self-gain. They are some of the most selfish beings that you can find. That they have with orcs, they have that very much in common. Hell, some of the orcs that were here tried to eat some of our people when they shot them to hell and tried to burn them alive when they didn't have nothing to eat. Fucking crazy ass people. Your Pleiadians, also, your Pleiadians, what they wanted to also do is enslave the human race. Yes, the humans, the orcs. They were going to try to come here and they were going to try to enslave black people as well. And what the Pleiadians wanted to do is that with the Draconian reptilians, they wanted to use the so-called black man and woman as a genetic bank. They wanted to profit off of selling genetic information to different sectors of reality, to different types of Archon beings and other beings all over the vast universe. They want to sell genetic information to try to have other beings try to improve their bodies off of the genetic information of the Anunnaki. These are cosmic crimes that we're talking about. Severe cosmic crimes that is punishable by destruction, death. But do they care? No, they don't. Don't let their looks fool you. They are very dangerous, and they are not friends to our people whatsoever. They are the reason why we are in the mess that we're in. Not even orcs, them. They are the leading charge and all this madness. Then your orcs, and then everybody else. And of course the Draco reptilians always in the background laughing. Your Andromedans have dealt with Pleiadians. There's been times where they have gotten along. There's been times where they have lived amongst each other. There has been times when they have not gotten along and have seriously gotten into it with one another. One thing you must understand with a lot of these alien beings, sometimes the enemy of my enemy might be my friend in this instance, in this situation. Sometimes they will team up to take out a common enemy or a common foe that is too big for one of them to handle alone, in order to take down the bigger threat, so that way they can fight amongst each other and steal the spoils of war. That is what they did with the Anunnaki. They couldn't win the war, so what they did was they tried to halt the war. They destroyed all the towers and then tried to enslave and kill people down here. But the war never ended. The war never ended. It got postponed, basically, after the towers were destroyed. The war was postponed. Your 2012 situation, where you had this movie of people dying and all this other destruction that's going on, your 2012 is really 2020. That guy Remedy H, man, gotta appreciate that brother. He's always coming up and trying to help people out. Ralph Smart, man, diving deep. You know, man, he's got a lot of information. Your RFG Chosen One's got a lot of good information. I recommend you guys search these guys up. Your Bobby Hammonds, you know, you got a lot of great information out there. But you know, the main thing is that because of the fact that these Pleiadians actually had underground cloning centers in different places, you actually have Pleiadians walking on this planet to this very day. Now, some of you may be asking, the male Pleiadian, who is he? He is, from my knowledge, he is called Ashtar, the Commander Ashtar. Apparently, some people believe in something called the Ashtar Command, and it was claimed that in July 18th, 1952, there was a being called Ashtar, Commander Ashtar from the Ashtar Command, who actually tried to warn humanity about the dangers of detonating the hydrogen bomb, and including the destruction of planet Earth or whatnot. The only way beings like this particular being called Ashtar, only beings that would get involved in something like this and also be Archon in nature, the only reason why they would warn the humans about the destruction of the planet is because they need to take over the planet. They need to do what they need to do on the planet. See, it does not benefit Ashtar, the Commander Ashtar of these Pleiadian people. It doesn't benefit him to have the planet completely destroyed before he can terraform the planet to have it all for himself and with his other Zeta and Archon buddies. It doesn't benefit him whatsoever. Okay, so of course he would try to intervene and try to warn the people about this hydrogen bomb or whatever the case is, or these nuclear weapons, because they need the planet for themselves, and they can't have the planet if the planet gets completely nuked, like what happened on Mars. Do you understand? Also, amongst these Pleiadian people, you have one that resembles those images that you like to call of Jesus Christ in your churches. You have a being in the fourth dimension. I talked to you guys about this guy a long time ago. He actually calls himself Jesus the Messiah. Well, when a lot of people die and they don't have their pineal glands active, they die and they go into the fourth dimension, and they go where? They go to the light, right? This is what they're telling us, these churches and all these religious places, to go to the light. That's where you're going to find God, right? You know what's funny about that light? When you actually go into that light, they set up curses and spells in that area somewhere near the atmosphere before you can fully get off the planet. And in that area, in close to deep space, when you go to that area, you get a hex placed on you, and you have a being there that resembles what Jesus looks like. So in the back of your subconscious, because you're not aware of what's going on, because your pineal gland, your spiritual eye is not active, your spiritual, the hemispheres of your brain that's supposed to deal with spirituality are turned off. You're like on autopilot. So you have this being that resembles very much what Jesus looks like. And because in the back of your subconscious, you've already been taught and programmed that this guy is supposed to be your savior. When you see him, your subconscious is going to manifest into a way where it's confused, and he's going to be telling you all the stuff that you did wrong in your life, and he's going to make you believe all these things, and then you're going to believe it. He's going to show you all the crap that you did in your life, none of the good stuff, and he's going to have you come back down here and reincarnate once again, to keep reincarnating back down here. And this is why I talked about a so-called prison planet, because this is not a prison. We created this planet. We're carbon dated people. We created the planet Tiamat. But these beings have a vested interest in turning this planet into a prison planet with all the crazy evil shit that they're doing, all these genetic programs, all the stuff that they're doing. Okay? All the evil stuff that they're doing. I'll make a video on gray aliens later. You know, it's all kind of madness that they're doing out here. And this commander called Ashtar, that they call him, yeah, he's the leader of these people, and he is the most evil one out of all of them, if I would have to say, in my opinion. He's the one leading these people. And you see all the destruction that they have caused, even when they came here on the planet. And I'm sure he didn't come here himself on the planet, because if he did, he would have had to have left for him to still be alive. Okay? But hey, you know, when beings die, they end up reincarnating back to where they belong. So, hell, who knows? Maybe he did show up with his other cronies and his little buddies, and whatever the situation is. And of course, Pleiadian blood is different from human blood. Like I said, these beings, they do not, their physiology is not like an orc, like a human. No, it's not. It looks very similar, but it is not. Do not let their looks fool you. You have another group of beings called Nordics. Nordics look like Pleiadians, but they're very buff. They have a very large muscular structure to them. They have a different type of skull structure to them. They're also blonde. The Nordics have also been many times mistaken for Pleiadians. In fact, I would actually argue that the Pleiadians are actually a lot more intelligent than Nordics, and they're far more intelligent than the orcs. And because of the fact that the orcs on their planet, they are an outcast, they are the black sheep, if you will, on their planet. The orcs, the reason why all this got started is because the orcs saw what the Anunnaki, or the carbon-based people, were doing. They were trying to turn the what you call the fourth and fifth dimensions into a form of a paradise, if you will. They were controlling all of the planetoids that they, for the most part, created all over the universe, and they were trying to turn the universe into a paradise for all the beings of nature. The orcs knew about this, and they knew that that energy that they were using would eventually make their bodies dissipate, and they would be destroyed. So they tried to get help from their Pleiadian and other Zeta brothers in the Mundus galaxy where they come from. And of course the Arcturians, they wanted to help out the orcs because they felt that you know, if the Anunnaki can be pushed to the side on the planet, that they could run around and go around and wreak havoc on other worlds, and that way they could do whatever the hell they want if the Anunnaki are out of commission. The point that the Arcturians and the Pleiadians are trying to make here is keep them asleep. Make sure they don't know what the hell is going on, so that way we can go on other worlds, colonize, kill, beat, rape, burn, destroy, brainwash, do all kinds of evils in other worlds. If the Anunnaki people are asleep, we can go around and wreak havoc everywhere we want to go. See, you have to understand, when people are being attacked on a planet, there is a radio signal or frequency that goes off after a button is pressed, and that lets our people, the Galactic Guardians, if you will, the Guardians of the Galaxy, it lets us know what's going on, and then we venture out into that realm of reality through different Stargate portals and different black holes and stuff like this, and then we end up on that planet, and then we go do war with whoever the hell's messing with them. This is a common practice that our people do. We are the Guardians of the Galaxies. This is hence that movie called Guardians of the Galaxy. So, now, Pleiadians, have Pleiadians and orcs ever fought before? Yes, they have. And Pleiadians, they dominated them. They have superior technology. They have superior intellect. They've been around longer. The Pleiadians have been around longer than the orcs. The orcs are literally a brand new species. They were only created 6,000 years ago. You know, out of all the your Zeta beings, your orcs would still be considered some of the lowest on the totem pole. Yeah, well, you do have some that are lower than the orcs, actually. Yeah, you have some that are lower than the orcs, actually. The Draco reptilians eventually became friends with the Pleiadians, and they conspired amongst each other to take over the planet Earth. See, the Pleiadians were gonna actually the Pleiadians and these Greys, what they were gonna do is that they were gonna try to terraform the planet Tiamat. They were, here, planet we call Earth today. They were gonna try to terraform it. An example of terraforming is, I believe, watch the movie Superman, the Man of Steel, and they have another movie. I forgot what it's called. But terraforming is when they're trying to make a planet a lot like a planet that is more hospitable and more suitable for their needs. So they're going to change the atmosphere, the atmospherics, the temperature. They're going to try to change what the water is like. They're going to try to change what the ground is like. They're going to try to terraform the planet. The electromagnetic frequency of the planet, nature, will be thrown off. What do you think that these bastards right now in our government are doing with the 5G technology? They're trying to throw off the magnetic frequency of nature. Okay? They're trying to throw it off. This is according to what they're doing right now, this is a very small form of, well, it is a lesser form of terraforming than what the Pleiadians and the Greys were going to do. Yes, it is a lesser form of terraforming, but it's still a form of terraforming because they're going to destroy the nature on the planet. But what they were going to do, the Pleiadians, they were going to have the planet terraformed completely. Like the planet, they were going to destroy this place. And see, what they were going to do is lock everyone into chains and stuff like that, have everyone get chipped, you know, the so-called RFID chip. They're going to try to implant a chip into your body, and they were going to have you guys as cattle out here. They were going to have everyone tied up to poles and stuff like this, and have the blood drained out of you. And the Draconians were going to be siphoning off of your energy, your electromagnetic organ energy for many years to come. They were going to try to lock the planet down and turn this into a so-called prison planet. That's what they wanted to do. These Pleiadians, I'm telling you, they're not your friends. Because they were going to come right back and try to do this. They can't do it now. It's over for all of them. They're all going to get theirs very soon this year. It's a promise. This world is changing. The world is never going to be the same again, as you guys can clearly see. And they were gonna put everyone into a form of slavery. And what they were gonna have with the Draconians as well is that all of the famous people, they were gonna have them living luxuriously. All your Illuminati and all that, your Lil Waynes and all of them, they were gonna have them living luxuriously, living like kings and shit. And guess what? They're gonna be in control of all of you, the ones that used to listen to their music and idolize them and damn near almost worship them in a way. They were going to have them be in control over you, the unsuspecting citizens of the planet Earth. They were going to have them on top and in charge of you. And the worst part is that all these people that you loved their music, you wanted to be like them, you wanted to dress like them, you wanted to hang out with them, you wanted to be their friend, you wanted to damn near be them. Those same people are going to become your worst nightmare, because they truly don't give a damn about you. They were getting ready to treat y'all like slaves and cattle out here. There was going to be a lot of these Pleiadians wanted to do a lot of flesh eating. They wanted to come down here and they wanted to have a damn smorgasbord out here. They want to take whoever the hell it is that they want to take. Whoever has the highest organ energy count, they want to eat them. You know? But they need to make sure that you're eating flesh to lower your frequency. This is what the hell's going on out here. It sounds terrible, right? Man, the skies were going to be real dark. There was going to be no hope. People being slaughtered. The world was going to be a horrible freaking place. You talk about, you're going to put two people in a pit and make them fight for food. And you find out if they're friends or not. They're going to find out psychically if you know each other. Then they make you fight to the death. Just to eat a fucking piece of meat or fruit or something like that. Just to survive. You have to kill to survive. The world's going to be a very dark and fucked up place because of these beings. This shit has got to stop. These beings are out of control. They wanted to turn Tiamat into a horrible place. I'm telling you, they were going to make the water very drinkable for them. Like the Greys, they can't drink this water. They can use this water for their crafts and shit, but they can't drink this freaking water. Okay? The water is very hard for them to digest. They need to mess up the water. Why do you think they're doing with the water now? Putting all these metals and all this other shit in the water. That's for them to be able to drink. They were slowly turning the planet into a hellish hell world planet to where they were going to be in control, and then you'd have the so-called mark of the beast. They call it the mark of the beast. It's not no beast. It's the mark of them being in control of your ass. Okay? And people with carbon in their bodies, oh man, if you have carbon in your body, you're going to be very valuable. You're going to be very valuable. Some of y'all, they might allow to live because they need your genetic around and they need to keep y'all healthy because they need to use your genetic for something. So some of y'all gonna be lucky enough to have them treat you like, I don't know, a little bit better than cattle, you know. And they know that you guys can connect to certain things and stuff like that. So they're gonna need a very good portion of y'all healthy and stuff like that. But the others that they don't care much for whatever reason that they feel, they're gonna treat y'all worse than cattle. Shit. Listen, slavery, oh man, all that fucked up shit you can imagine. And the thing also with Pleiadians as well is that the Pleiadian men, they fear the Anunnaki men very much. They fear that genetic code. They see what you are, and they fear you. Sometimes when you're around them, you can sense the fear coming off of them. They know what you are. They've seen y'all when y'all get mad. They very much fear you. You know, and the Pleiadian women, you know, because they know that their men are inferior to the carbon-based men. They're inferior. They want to try their hands on a carbon-based man. Just like how your orc females are doing here. You know, the Pleiadians also, they were having a blast when slavery happened down here. They knew all about it. They didn't come then to save nobody, right? But yet they want to talk about that they come in peace. Every time they show up, we come in peace. Few days later, they're killing your ass. You understand? This is what's going on around here, people. You were gonna have all kinds of cyborgs and machines walking around. People, you know, Bill Gates and all these other people. You know what they were gonna do? They were gonna attach themselves to all kinds of cyborgs and machines and shit to try to live forever and all this other shit. And man, though, things they were gonna try to do to black people, man. Oh my goodness, man. And the thing is, now you're gonna ask me about the so-called genetic bank, or whatever the case is. The genetic bank was going to be used for any beings that envy whatever it is the Anunnaki possess genetically. And they know that they can't take all of the genetic because it'll kill them. Their bodies cannot handle all of the genetics. So they were going to take some certain small portions of the genetic to try to enhance their body physiology, biochemically and all that other shit. This is this is also part of the reason why you have these hybridization programs, like with your gray aliens and stuff like this. Like you see certain grays that have a more human shape to them. They have to be careful with that carbon because it'll kill them. So what they do is they use human genetic in a program to where they try to make their bodies more human-like. You know, that shape, you call it humanoid, the same shape that these Pleiadians have. They want to give themselves a shape like that because, you know, grays are so anorexic looking and whatnot. They're very odd looking at times. You know, you're going to have all kinds of demonic beings, all kind of aggressive beings all over the universe come here for a fucking Thanksgiving dinner. You know, to come here and just take whatever it is that they want to take and destroy and disintegrate and destroy everything. And by the time they were done, the planet would have suffered greatly, and it could be a completely different planet by then, a planet that will only benefit them and no one else. And then eventually, at some point, the Anunnaki would show up and then destroy all of them, and then free our people eventually. They would have, you know what they would have had? Y'all have, see, a lot of y'all don't have your pineal glands active. So when you die, you're not aware of the fourth dimension. So you keep reincarnating back here. And this is why they like to call it a prison planet. This is not a prison planet, people. It's not. But that's what their goal was, to turn it into a prison planet. That's what their goal was. We've talked about this a long time ago, years ago. And see, the thing is this is what they were going to have you do. Is keep reincarnating back here every time these Dracos and all these other ones eat you alive or take your essence from you, or whatever the case is. You're going to keep on reincarnating, Why? Because when you're finally in your soul form or whatever, they can't destroy you. They are lower beings. They're lower than you. You are a superior species. You're a carbon-based person. They can't destroy you, but they can live off of your life force. So this is a parasitic type of mentality. These Zetas and all these beings, they're parasites at the end of the day. Despite whatever they look like. They're parasitical, they're parasite-like. They want to live off of you, they want to destroy you, they want to hate you, they want to love you only to destroy you, they want to do all kind of crazy shit down here. And you see, now some people would argue, so all the beings that have this like look to them, so they're all you. Well, amongst our carbon dated people, sometimes you have two albinoid genes that mix in, and you can have a carbon dated person that looks Caucasian. A lot of people don't even realize this, but yes, it's true. I even have a friend named Jonathan, and he looks like a Caucasian person, and he is not. His mother's a woman of carbon, so is his father. You know, in our genetic bloodline as carbon dated people, we even have some people that look Asian. Yes, we do. You'll be surprised. You have people that look like they're Caucasian and they're not. Yeah. It's just the nature of things. You know, but whatever. You know, the point I'm trying to make though is that you know, these beings are responsible for all these false, all these falsities that's been going on down here. You know, they are directly responsible for all the chaos that's been going on the planet. It wouldn't have been possible without them. It wouldn't have been possible. They are the culprits behind this. At the end of the day, they are the culprits behind this. They know Enki created the orcs. They know. And they know the orcs are ignorant to their own history. A lot of them, not all of them. You know? So, they use that as a form of manipulation. The Pleiadians, they, on their planet, you know, they know what they've done, and they know that they have to pay for it. And the Galactic Federation, all these cosmic councils, all these other beings that have a stake and a say in what goes on in the universe, they are tracking these beings down. They're fighting with them as we speak. They are coming after them. These beings know what they have done. A lot of these cosmic beings are waiting outside of the atmosphere of certain planets that these Pleiadians and other Archons and Zetas are on, and they are waiting for that moment, for that judgment time when they can come in and fight with them. You know, now some people are going to ask, you know, so what's going to happen after all these evil beings are gone? I had a subscriber ask me that. So is it just going to be excuse me, I'm sorry. Is it going to just be carbon dated folk on the planet and that's it? Well, for the most part, it will just be carbon dated folk, but at the same time, our people do have friends that are not like us. We have friends that are different species, and they may be able to come down here every once in a great while. But yes, for the most part, we will be here on the planet. But here's the thing, we won't be the same anymore. We will have evolved, like they say. We will no longer be behaving the same way. This ignorant behavior amongst our people where we just behave like we have something mentally wrong with us. You know, you see it all the time. That's going away. Everything that they taught us to be is going away. And the true self will reawaken, and that part of us will remain permanent and constant and forever lasting and permanent. We will become those who we were back then. the same individuals who they feared and who they felt that they had to manipulate in order to try to hasten their so-called, or what you want to call, evolution. They wanted to hasten us becoming even greater. They wanted to hasten the merging of all the planetoids into becoming a utopia of sorts. They wanted, because we wanted to line all the planets up together and create some kind of paradise. They knew that that was coming. They had to stop that. Is every Pleiadian evil? Well, I would imagine there would have to be some good ones among them. But like I always say, if the species is an enemy to us already, giving any of them a chance is extremely detrimental to us. It is extremely detrimental to us, and I wouldn't give them that opportunity. Absolutely not. Because they'll do you the same way they did us last time. They come off like they're friends, only to screw you over in the end. They always have an ulterior motive in the shadows. Because they are truly not our friends. We must understand, there are different species. Race is just a construct. Okay? Race is just a construct. It's not real. There's only different species. Okay? There's only different species. There is no race. A race to where? Where are we racing to? We running now? We on bikes? I don't understand it. Okay? And on this channel we talk about different species, and I'm sorry, but not every species is as beautiful and as delightful as they would like to appear in the naked eye. You understand? And this is some of the information on Pleiadians. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on out there, man. You know. Then of course, you know, they do have certain abilities. They do have certain types of psychic talents, of course, as well. They would never fight us head on unless it was an opportune moment for them to attack. They would never attack us head on unless they had massive amounts of help. But then they'd scurry off running to the hills because they know they can't face us. In fact, I actually believe that it was the Pleiadians that actually had the orcs actually run on Mars and actually try to steal the red gold that was on Mars. Yes, our people lived on Mars at one point. There was a giant galactic war that happened on Mars. Most of the stuff that's actually happening here on Tiamat, a lot of that stuff actually happened on Mars, if you didn't know. A lot of the stuff that's happening down here happened on Mars. And of course, you do have Pleiadians that will turn on each other as well. As for the darker tone Pleiadians, I do believe that the darker Pleiadians, the original Pleiadians, and these grafted, or you call them Zeta Pleiadians, I do believe that they do not get along for whatever reason. A lot of times with grafting will pull out the negative essence or the opposite essence of that species, and it will, I don't know how you say, it will form it in such a way that grafted form is literally the opposite of what, in a way, it is the exact opposite form of the species. It is the exact opposite form of the species, if you will. Yeah, it's crazy, but it can happen. It's a process called grafting. Right now, these Pleiadian beings, they're very much afraid because they know what's getting ready to happen. They know our people are going to be free, and they're going to pay for what the hell they did. They're going to pay. They could run all over the place. They got to pay. They're shaking their boots right now. So is these orcs right now. These orcs don't have a friend in sight that won't try to help them. They don't have a friend in sight. So it's almost already about time for 2020 to seriously pick up speed and for the whole world to finally come to an end. The world that we know. The system that is currently at work right now. It's almost about wrap up time for the system to finally fall. And when that happens, these governmental bastards are going to try to go underground. They're not going to have a friend in sight. Pleiadians are not going to try to help you. For what? They have their own problems. They have their own issues. They're not worried about y'all. Draconians are not going to help. For what? They got their own problems. They're not worried about y'all. So same thing with Greys, same things with Arcturians, same things with those other Zetas, those Minotaurs, and all those other ones. You know, when I think about, you know, all these different species that's out there, to me it's very sad that we have species that feel the way that they feel within and want to cause harm and destruction everywhere they go. You know, if I could have things my way, I would prefer if all species could just get along and there was no problems. But that's not the way it's going to be. You know, Mother Cosmos has tried to straighten out some of these beings that are out here that are these dark, malicious, evil beings. And even though she's tried to straighten some of them out, they just go right back to doing the same thing. So clearly, she's saying clearly they were meant to be this way. We have viruses in the cosmos. We have viruses out here. We have bad beings that want to create problems. And it is our job as carbon-dated folk to go into the astral realm and destroy them. Make them pay for what the hell's going on. Justice will prevail in the end. And as for beings like these, they have a rude awakening coming, man. Believe me. They're gonna be in prison. They're gonna become slaves. The same way all the bad stuff they did to us is gonna happen to them. You're gonna learn a damn lesson. Alright. And of course they're gonna try to put up a fight. But in the end, they will get what's coming to them. This is a little bit of the history of the Pleiadian people on the planet Erra, and some of the things that they came here and did 500 years ago, and what they're currently up to right now. And it's not anything good. That I can very much promise you. So now you guys have a much larger and greater understanding of who it is that we're talking about when we talk about Pleiadians. Yes, yeah, now you have a better understanding, and yes, they came here and did some really fucked up ass shit. Yeah, this is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with space invaders and all kind of other beings that's out there that want to very much take over Tiamat. They want this planet so bad because they know the resources here are damn near limitless. They don't want to leave. They just want to stick around. They want to be a virus. They just don't want to go. They just want to take over and destroy everything. Something's wrong with their ass. Seriously. Okay, they came first. Then the other orcs and all the other beings showed up, and then you get your founding fathers from out of that chaos. After the towers were destroyed, because the Pleiadians let them know what was going on. They let them know what to attack. They were just sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting. And they saw the things that we could do. So they already knew, if we can't find an Achilles heel, a weak point, nothing. If we can't find any kind of weakness to take down these gods, let's just get the hell out of here. But eventually, because of us being unsuspecting, eventually they found it. Alright guys, this is your boy, Serious in the Temple, Spiritual Network, and I'm out. Take care of yourselves, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Serious in the Temple, Spiritual Network, and I'm out. See you guys later. Tell me what you guys thought of the video. And yeah, it was good. Taking you guys along for the ride. It's a little late. I'm a little tired, and yeah, give me some feedback. It's always good to know what you guys are thinking and whatnot. All right, you guys, I'm out. Serious out.